Hey guys, Sewell here, and today we're going to talk about Yosemite and iOS 8 and what that will actually mean for your business. So it's not even out yet. It's supposed to be out, I believe, in September. This is Yosemite's Apple's new operating system for their Mac computers, and iOS 8 is their new operating system for their phones, iPads, iPod touches. So why is that important to someone, a creative professional? Why would we talk about the operating system on this channel? Well, it's important to be familiar with things that are directly related to your industry. What do I mean by that? So for example, if I'm a filmmaker, cinematographer, it's important for me to be very familiar with photography, because a cinematographer, all he's capturing really is motion picture. There's more dynamics to the lighting, but it's still pictures. So by me being familiar, not mastering photography, but me being familiar with photography actually helps me improve in my industry. So now, as we get to iOS 8 and Yosemite, what we're looking at here is actually being familiar, not with the new technologies, although that's what we're going to be talking about, but to be familiar with the technical aspects of your business. So if you're using a Mac, you need to know your keyboard shortcuts. That's like important. I mean, what would take you minutes on a mouse can take you seconds on a keyboard. So for example, if I were to copy the contents of a folder, like say there's 50 pictures in the folder that I want, all I have to do is press Shift, click on the first picture while holding Shift, click on the last picture. So if there's 100 pictures in the folder and I only want 50, I just hit Shift on the 50 that I want while pressing the mouse on the two. Like for example, if this is the range, I hit Shift on the first one. While holding Shift, I hit the last one. Everything in between will be selected, and I can easily hit Command C and then Command V and paste it into a folder. So these are little shortcuts that help you speed up your workflow. And you find them in Lightroom, you find them in Photoshop, you find them in what else do I use on a daily basis? Photoshop, Lightroom, I guess Final Cut X, or even Final Cut 6, the old Final Cuts. Final Cut Studio 2. All these shortcuts are useful when you're working in your industry. Even if you're doing sound, you need to know your shortcuts for Logic, for Pro Tools, even for a program like Fruit Loops. So anyway, so it's important now for us to understand the technology, because the early adopters, they do well. So not only does the technical aspect of your business affect you in terms of your work, but it can also give you potential work. Say, for example, a client wants you to take pictures. You want to take pictures for a client, and the client owns a, let's say, I don't know, art gallery. So the client says, man, I need to get a website going. I need to, get pictures for my website, but I need to get the website first. And along with the website, I also need to get a Facebook page. They have no idea how to set these things up. You walk in, you've had some idea of it. You can say, hey, I can help you with your website. I know which system to use. I know which theme to use for that system, and I can get you started. Anything outside of that, you may have to hire a web developer or hire a programmer. At least you can get the client's foot in the door. So it's not something you would practice, but at least you can say, I can give you some idea of what it will cost, an idea of how it's done. You don't have to go with my method, but at least I know something about it. So it's important to understand the technical, so that once we've have that as a second nature, we can now move on to the creative process. So looking at Yosemite and iOS 8. So one of the three things I want to highlight in the Yosemite's, first of all, is AirDrop. It's a feature that Apple has implemented on your phones for some time now. And how it works, I think it came on iOS 7. How it works is basically it's using Bluetooth and Wi-Fi to transfer pictures, video, and I think that's it for now. Apple needs to actually implement more stuff like music, text documents, PDFs. They should be able to do all those things. But anyway, you can send whatever's in your photo gallery to another person by simply using AirDrop. No need to touch phones. Once that person's in close proximity, within, I would say, 15, 20 feet, you can turn AirDrop on, find them in the list, if they allow you to gain access to their phone. Because there's an option, you can either have your contacts send you stuff, or you can have everyone send you stuff. So depending on the permissions, that you can send that person that file in seconds. I've had a concern with that because I wanted to use that on my computer with my phone, because what I'm doing now is I'm actually sending text messages from my computer to my phone. And basically iMessage, which is Apple's like internal messaging system that works for the iOS devices, you can send a text to yourself. Only problem with that is that you use bandwidth. Normally I wouldn't have a problem with that, but I've kind of ran into some bandwidth constraints, the place based on places I've been to in the last couple of months. So sometimes I'm not always able to send a 400 or 2 gigabyte file over the bandwidth. I have to kind of be careful of that. But with AirDrop, I'm actually using my phone and the computer's networking capabilities. So Bluetooth or Wi-Fi. It actually works together. And anyway, so you'll be able to send pictures and stuff from your phone to your computer and from your computer to your phone. And that's huge because, let's say for example, as a photographer, you need to show your client, I don't know, 50 pictures, and you really don't have the time at the moment to send all that stuff to sync your phone up. So you just turn AirDrop on, it finds your phone, you drag those 50 pictures to your device, and the process begins. Now, granted, syncing it with your phone may be a bit faster, depending on how big the files are, but the option is there, especially if it's someone's phone and not yours. So if the client's there and the client wants to send you pictures to the iPad, they turn AirDrop on, you send the pictures. So that's feature number one. Feature number two, which I think will help a lot of us as we type documents and as we create spreadsheets and as we come up with billing for all our clients, is continuity. Now, continuity is, of course we have to test these things out, but continuity basically allows you to continue working on a document that you've started either on your phone or your iPad or your iPad Touch. As you get in close proximity with your computer, it just pops, the actual application will pop up, and you can choose to open it, and you can continue working on the computer. So that's a good time saver for those long documents. It's going to help a lot of people. Feature number three that I'm looking forward to as well is actually being able to receive text messages, because like I talked about, iMessage allows you to receive iOS devices messages. So if a person has an iPod Touch, an iPad, or a computer that's a Mac, you can receive messages from them. With the iOS 8, you'll be able to receive text messages from regular phones. So a person has an Android, a person has a Windows phone, they send you a text, you can receive it right on your computer. No need to go running to get your phone in the next room or taking your phone out of your pocket. It's just right there on the computer. You gain access to it. You can send people files through your computer. So I believe it's a great feature. It's going to come both. It's going to be available both. Well, it's going to be more available for the computer and stuff like iPads and iPod Touches, because the iPhone already has standard text messaging. But I think that's a good feature. Now, these things are important, as I was saying earlier, because we want to be able to work seamlessly on a machine that we're using for our creative process, and not have to worry about all these things. So, just to recap, it's important to understand fields that are directly related to yours, because it will help you many times get in the door of a prospective client, and two, it will also help you work much more efficient, because now you're understanding how the machine works, and now that you understand how the machine works, it helps free you up to do the things you work. So for example, in Adobe Lightroom, I'm able to select multiple pictures using the keyboard shortcut. I'm able to copy and paste effects from different pictures. Like for example, this picture here, I'm able to take what I've applied to the actual, what filters I've applied and adjustments I've applied to that picture, and now paste it to 6 to 7 or 8 or 10 or 100 different pictures within that same setup, in that same lighting configuration, because you don't want to keep pasting on different lighting configurations. So shortcuts on the keyboard help speed up the process as you're working, because then I would have to go click edit, go to develop or right click and go down to the different sections within the contextual menu, which will take up more time. And then I have to go to each individual picture or select each individual picture and do the paste one by one. So it'll take a lot more time. The same thing here in Photoshop. I'm able to use keyboard shortcuts to actually go from the selection tool to, let's say, something like the paint bucket. I'll go from the paint bucket back to the selection tool. I'll go from a color, because in the bottom left you have your color selectors. You can go from whatever color selectors you had before to black and white. And there's so many other features. Even the copy and paste features that work in your computer will work now in these actual programs. So understanding the technical functions and actually being an early developer. I'm not talking about developing apps for Apple. I'm talking about, being an early adopter will help improve your ability and your skills in the marketplace, because now people see that you already know not necessarily iOS 8 and Yosemite, but you actually know the new technologies that are coming out. So that's why, like, 4K right now has become something that the average consumer can understand. And this has been out. I've been tracking 4K since 2008 when Red first kind of announced their first camera. So 4K has been out for a long time, but now the consumers are adapting to it. So if you've already been playing with 4K footage, you're ahead of the game versus now just getting on the bandwagon while everyone else has already been doing it. It gives you some limitations because now you're playing catch up. So it's important to adopt. It's important for us to now understand Yosemite and iOS 8, because now that'll give us the ability to be more flexible and to be more marketable to our clients. I hope that helped today, guys. If you like this video, like it, and don't forget to subscribe. What I'm actually going to be doing now is I'm going to be trying to narrow things down to more specific things. So this is actually part 1, not of Yosemite and iOS 8, but part 1 of understanding the technical, so that it can free you up for the actual creative process. I guess I'm going to call it the creative workflow. And I guess I'll show you guys my creative workflow so it can help you adopt your own creative workflow, or even take what I've used and improve it. So until next time, guys, to see you all here.